about profound change. I've done this on doctors. I've done this on many doctors. Doctors, know what they know from the classroom, from the books, right? They know these things, okay? But when it comes to practical application, very few have ever experienced it. So whenever I have a doctor, I'm very excited because it shows them, it demonstrates them in the real world how this works, okay? So we're talking about vagus nerve stimulation. Why? Because of anxiety, because people feel anxious. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Annie. So because people, are filled with anxiety now because of very natural reasons. Okay, one of them being cell phones. Okay, cell phones does this. Why does it do this? Well, because you're like this, okay? Okay, you're scrolling. Sorry, mine's plugged in. You're scrolling, okay? So you're scrolling, and then you start getting these dopamine hits. Okay, how does it make you anxious? It's constant stimulation, okay? So it's stimulus over and over and over and over. Okay, this affects your nervous system. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this and other things. But the bottom line is if you are anxious, if you are worried, if you are fearful, this will help you. This will come to the rescue for you. Okay, because this is very profound in the development that happens, in the settling that occurs. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this vagus nerve thing. So, what does the vagus nerve control? It controls your heart rate, for one. It controls your breathing, your digestion. Okay, inflammation response. Do you have inflammation? Okay, some people have chronic inflammation. What happens? The vagus nerve helps to fight it off, helps to decrease it, helps to remedy the situation. Okay, emotional regulation is another one. Okay, facial expression and vocal expression as well. Okay, so when your vagus nerve is stimulated properly, not only do you get rid of anxiety, not only do you get rid of fear, guilt, shame, those negative emotions that cause negative vibrations. Queen Felicia, good morning. Santiago, good morning. Phoenix, good morning. Annie, hey, Charles, good morning. Trisha, good morning. So not only does it remedy these things, it regulates it. Okay? So what does that mean? Well, the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body. I don't have any printed material, but I can show you guys what it looks like, especially those of you on the chat over here on the chat. We have a chat over here. We have cameras over there. We have cameras over there, another camera up there. So, yeah, we're going to show you what that looks like. So for you guys on the chat, it looks like this. Okay? It looks like, yeah, sorry. It looks like that. That's your vagus nerve. Okay? And it goes down through your throat, okay, into your heart, your lungs, all the way down into your gut. See? It goes all the way down there. Okay? So it affects all of these things. Okay? And it makes you well. Okay? Those of you that can see, I don't know, this is kind of a tiny image, but like that. Okay? So, but the vagus nerve. Okay? So the vagus nerve is important because if you're overstimulated, okay, let's say, for example, you're go, 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 that kind of thing, or you're scrolling, okay, and you get all those dopamine hits, okay, so your central nervous system is tuned to stimulus, 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 stimulus all the time, stimulus, stimulus, okay. This is why people have a tough time with the meditation. So it's affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, okay. And the meditation part is sitting still. The meditation part is stillness, oneness, feeling the oneness. Because when you start, and what kind of oneness am I talking about? It's a spiritual thing, okay? But when you close your eyes and be still, now you bring on the intuitive voices, or the intuitive feelings, I should say. Okay, it's a feeling, it's not a voice. Good morning. Good morning. Cough, cough, Hinduism. No, it's part of Hinduism. It originates in Hinduism, yeah. But stillness, okay, it doesn't matter who you are, okay? Stillness is important because it amplifies, or let's say you shift the focus from scrolling, adrenaline, dopamine, whatever, stimulus, okay, to stillness. And when you become still, Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, said, muddy water let still becomes clear. Okay, so you become clear. Okay, you become it clear as a thinker. Okay, also what happens is you start to migrate from the left brain tendencies to the right brain tendencies. Okay, Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. Okay, this is not about church, this is not about religion. I'm just saying that's why they say that. Okay, because the right hemisphere of the brain is ideal. It's responsible for creation. It's responsible for, creativity, right? And it's responsible for bonding. Okay, so when oxytocin is excreted through the neurotransmitters, when you do the vocalization exercise, and it stimulates the vagus nerve, okay, what happens is you start to calm, okay, because of oxytocin and endorphins. But the oxytocin is the bonding hormone. So you start to bond more with people or seek bonding with people. Okay, this could be going out and joining clubs. Okay, so my parents of my high school kids go, wow, yeah, my daughter, my son, they're going out and they're joining clubs now. They're being more sociable now. Okay, because they're seeking that bonding. Okay, so today we're talking about the vagus nerve and how important it is. Okay, especially if you're anxious. Okay, especially if you have this negative tinge about the world. Okay, because what formed that? What causes you to strike out at things? Negative emotions. Okay, frustration, anger, right? Those things. Discontentment. Okay, but the vagus nerve counteracts those things. Why? Well, because it starts in the brainstem, okay, and it goes all the way down and goes all the way to your gut. It monitors all of these systems, all of these places in your body. So the throat chakra, the heart chakra, okay, it goes down to the root chakra, okay. And what happens when this happens? You start to relax. You start to feel good. Okay, what happens when you feel good? Doubt and fear start to diminish. What happens when doubt and fear begin to diminish? You receive your blessings. What is meant for you? What is meant for your life path? Okay. So now that we know that it controls your heart rate, okay, controls. Oops, I'm sorry. I made notes today, so just so I remember to tell you guys everything. Okay, so 80% of your communication goes from body to brain. Okay, your sensory information. Okay, so your subconscious is everything that you feel, everything that you see, everything that you touch. Okay, all goes into your subconscious. Your subconscious is made up of these things. It's all sensory. And this is why in repetition, okay, and in emotion, you can start to manifest. Thank you. Saili Soto, question mark? You have questions? Go ahead. How to regulate the nervous system? That's a big question. Basically, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. The vocalization exercise that we teach, that we do, that we talk about all the time is the key. It starts to regulate your nervous system because it pulls trauma out of there. It pulls negative emotions out of there. It pulls anger out of there. Okay, because all these things, all these negative emotions are stored in your nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's what it does. And that's how to regulate it. So if you stay tuned, you can join us like every day. We're here at 7 a.m. every day. I'll tell you if you hang out and enjoy the live. Or you can write to me. You can write to me if you have a problem with that. If you're suffering from anxiety, if you're suffering from stress. Okay, so we always talk about the fact that high performers go through stress all the time, but pretty soon, because of their subconscious, it appears to be normal. It's like they accept it. It's like a nervous thing, but so high performance anxiety looks just like motivation, is what we say. Okay, but yeah, I'd be happy to help you, Saili. So just message me, or you can click the link in the bio, and I'd be happy to talk to you, or I'd be happy to write to you. You can email me. Jay, you can put up the email. So we're talking about vagus nerve stimulation. Okay, this is what we do through the voice. And it works with every single person. You know why? because they're all human beings. We're all made the same. We're all designed the same. We just have different experiences. We apply different thoughts to different things, okay? But 80% of our communication goes from the body to the brain, okay? So when you're perceiving something, when you're looking at something and going, oh, okay, that's what that is, right? A lot of your perception is sensory, okay? Now, your nervous system states, let's go over that a little bit, okay? So when your vagus nerve is stimulated, you start to experience calm. You start to be present. You start to focus on what's happening right now because you get pulled into the moment by your voice. And when you get pulled into the moment by your voice, these other things that have been concerning you, these other things that you have been thinking about, you cannot think about because it will pull you into the moment. I just do this because the kids do this now. You know, the kids do that. But that's what it is. It's pulling you into the moment, okay? And your fight or flight syndrome, okay, that your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system produces, okay, starts to subside. It starts to release. You start to let go of it, okay? And you start to let go, okay? You start to let go of it because you can't have both at the same time simultaneously. It's impossible. So confidence cannot live where anxiety exists, and vice versa. If you're confident, there is no anxiety. You know, so some people tell me, like, it's funny when I do my intake, okay, people talk to me and I have to get a sense of where they're at. And so I ask them, how confident do you think you are in the scale of 1 to 10? And most of them say, oh, about an 8, right? And I go, okay, are you feeling anxiety? Oh yeah, I feel anxious. It's not really an 8, you see? Okay, but this fixes it. Now, does it cure it? Does it go away? Well, I have to tell you that a lot of my clients get off their medicine, okay, their anxiety meds. Some have gotten off depression meds. Okay, so the short answer is in 12 weeks, it will be so manageable, okay? It'll be just as manageable as going to work and having the regular everyday stress load. And then when you come home, just let it go. So in that sense, yes, it cures it. Okay, what we say as, you know, the word healing, the way we apply the word healing, our definition is if it was bothering you before and it's not bothering you anymore, or it's not unmanageable anymore, then you're healed from it. Okay, can you get injured by it again? Sure, yeah, you can. But with affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization, in 12 weeks, it'll disappear. And what's the trick to not allowing it to come back? Okay, so the key word is allow. Okay, allow. Whatever you allow will befall you. Okay, whatever you fear, you'll bring more of to you. How does this work? Because your attention will be on fear. Okay, so attention will be the topic. It's like debt. Okay, if you're focused on debt, if you're trying to solve your debt, okay, if you're trying to pay off your debt, what's the underlying theme? Debt. So what happens? You attract more of it. Why? Because in your subconscious, you're thinking debt. It doesn't matter if you're thinking to solve it or get rid of it or pay it off or what, it's debt. And people don't understand why they're poor. They don't understand why debt keeps coming back, why it's not manageable, why I have a problem with it, because you're always thinking about it, okay? And it goes in your subconscious. Okay, so it's the same with everything. Okay, if you're on a diet and you're thinking about food, if you're thinking about the food you can't eat, if you're thinking about the food that's bad for you, if you're thinking of reminding yourself, you know, not to eat whatever, fattening things, whatever, starches, whatever, what's the underlying topic? Food. Guess what's going to be attracted to you? Or what you're going to be attracted to? Food. Because subconsciously, you're not even thinking about it. Subconsciously, the topic is food. This is how that happens. So if you always have anxiety, and if you're preoccupied with trying to solve your anxiety, you're trying to diminish your anxiety, you're trying to treat your anxiety, then your focus is anxiety. And you're bringing more of it to you. The reason why is because your subconscious, which operates in repetition, wash, rinse, repeat, okay, which learns in repetition, wash, rinse, repeat, will start creating avenues, okay, towards whatever the subject is. So if the subject is anxiety, it'll go, okay, wait, let me look for something that'll make you anxious. Let me look for another thing that'll make you anxious. The reticular activating system in your brainstem will go, oh, okay, well, let's filter out everything that doesn't make you anxious. And now let's filter in the things that make you anxious. And people have no clue that their body works this way. So what do? Well, they take medicine. What does the medicine do? It makes you feel better. And then it runs out. But, oh, it has side effects. Oh, pretty soon you got to take the second one to treat the side effects of the first one, and then, oh, the second one has a couple of side effects, and then you have another one to take care of those side effects. It just kind of goes like that. It's not always that bad. I'm over dramatizing it, okay, but I'm trying to make a point. Medicine is the Band-Aid. Okay, this is the source. Okay, you are the source. Underneath everything, it's your subconscious. There's the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious, the three states of awareness in here. But you have the power in here. Okay, the kingdom is within. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. Okay, all of your solutions are in here. Anxiety keeps you from studying. Anxiety keeps you from thinking clearly or making, clear decisions that give you positive results. Anxiety keeps you running back to your device, looking at the same thing that made you anxious in the first place. Okay? So sometimes it's like you look at stuff and you go, oh my God, that's making me anxious. And then after a while, what do? You go to check to see if it's still there, if more of it's there. Now this has an algorithm. Okay? There are algorithms on here. So it will keep feeding you what you're interested in, what you keep looking at. How does this translate into the physical world? Well, you have a reticular activating system in your brainstem. Now, instead of seeing whatever it is, if let's say they're fights, and you're watching fights, you're watching people fight, and you see it online. Okay? Or you could be watching a car, a brand new car, whatever it is. Okay? Now, when you put this down, and you go outside and there's no computer system, and you start to see the same things. Why? Because your reticular activating system goes, oh, that's what you like? Okay, we'll give you more of what you're focused on. Because that's how it works. And then in the real world, you wonder, why am I seeing, I'm seeing fights all over the place. Then what's your impression? Your impression is, boy, people are fighting all over the place. People are fighting all over the world. But you have constructed your reality. You have constructed this reality simply because of your interest, simply because of what you're interested in. And now you see more of it, okay? And this is the law of attraction. Like attracts like. It's not magic, it's not witchcraft. I mean, if you want to, go and do those things and whatever, create a ceremony out of it, or okay, go. Well, it's up to you. But I'm trying to dispel all these things because it's being presented to everybody like magic. I manifested a car. You did manifest a car, no matter what car you have. Okay? Look at the condition of your car. Okay? If you look at the condition of your car, you'll see exactly what kind of car you manifested. You manifest whether you think so or not. You manifest whether you're aware of it or not. You manifest whether you don't, it's not something you have to believe in. Okay, so whether you believe in it or not, it's not something you have to believe in. So what am I addressing right now? Manifestation. It can become addictive. Yeah, what did Manuel say? I'm trying to go back on Oh, cortisol hormone is addictive. Yeah, cortisone is addictive. Yeah, cortisol. Sorry, cortisol is addictive. Okay. So is dopamine. All of these are chemical reactions in your brain, and they're all addictive. Okay, because when you start pressing the pleasure button, the dopamine, okay, it's like those guinea pigs, you know, they put the guinea pigs in the cage, okay, and when they hit that button to get the food, okay, they get the food, they become happy, so they keep hitting the button, they keep getting rewarded, okay, so you're rewarding yourself with the dopamine. It's addictive. Cortisol is addictive. That's why people love spooky movies. They want to see movies that make them scared. Why? It's a high. They get addictive to it. Or there would be no such thing as horror movies. Okay, they like that feeling, that feeling. Okay, they get that adrenaline spike. It's addictive. I'm not saying it's bad. Okay, it's not bad. If you like spooky movies and that's your thing, and you enjoy all that adrenaline, okay, that's fine. But here's the thing that's not fine. Okay, after the entertainment, after the scrolling, after the, whatever you do for your leisure time, now it's time to concentrate. Now it's time to focus. Now it's time to, let's say, do your college class. Now it's, say, time to do your high school class. Maybe now it's time to go to your job and use your left brain, okay? Your logic brain to finish some work at the office. But you're still stuck in the adrenaline. You have elevated levels of cortisol. And every negative thing you see produces a trigger. Now what? Now you're living in fight or flight. Okay? Now you're living in survival mode. Survival mode doesn't imply, survival mode does not imply that you're living to survive. It doesn't imply that at all. Survival mode means that you're walking around on pins and needles and you get triggered here and there and here and there and here and there. And some people just think they've become angry. Some people just think they've become irritated. They're actually anxious and getting triggered. Okay, anxiety. How many people, just curious on the chat, how many people are suffering from anxiety? Just type yes. So we have a chat over here. We're on 7 platforms every morning. But I'm just curious, how many people have anxiety as a problem? Because if it's not a problem, then you're good. Okay, a problem arises when it interferes with your work, when it interferes with your leisure time, your me time, when you're relaxing, or when you're trying to relax, or when you're trying to concentrate, or when you're trying to get some work done. Certain, not always. Okay, Manuel, I said the people that are suffering from anxiety. So you're not. So you don't have to put yes. Manuel is my buddy in Belgium. Thank you, Manuel, though. Thank you. I'm just giving you a hard time because you're my buddy. Okay. So fight or flight, anxiety, stress, urgency. Okay, thinking you have to do something now. That knee-jerk reaction. When somebody says, do something, oh, can you do that? And, oh, yeah. And you do that. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that, right? When I do my vocal exercises with people for the first time, and I say, okay, let's go a little higher. When I say the word higher, they're like, go way higher. Why? Because they have that knee-jerk reaction. I understand it. I know what's going on in them. They don't understand it. Sometimes they don't even know they're doing it. They're not aware that they're doing it. Why? Because they're under this societal hypnosis. Because they've been conditioned into this. And this happens in many different ways. Okay, Cheyenne, good morning. Lisbeth, good morning. Main character, Lacey, good morning. Okay, because you've been conditioned into all of this. And these are just acquired through daily habits, through daily occurrences. Okay, some of it's television, some of it's radio, some of it's scrolling, okay, online activity, some of it's that. Okay, some of it's the things that you see in society, some of it's movies, some of it's, whatever. Harlequin romance novels, whatever. Things you read, all of these things. But when you start leaning, I'm going to use the term leaning, okay? But when you start leaning towards something, you've already been conditioned into it. Why? Well, you know it because you start to crave it, or you start to enjoy it, so you gravitate towards it. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so where are your emotions stored? Is it in your subconscious? Okay, so they're not stored all in one place. Okay, when I tell you that your subconscious is your book of life, that your subconscious, because your subconscious is a culmination of all of your senses. Okay, and in that context, your subconscious has a record of everything because your emotions are not all stored in one place. But the subconscious doesn't record like a tape recorder or like a video camera. It's not every specific little thing that you're going to be able to pull out of your subconscious. Okay, the other day we were talking about the 4 types of memory. Okay, explicit, implicit. So I'm not going to go over all of that. Okay, but there's 4 different types. Okay, now your subconscious gets imprinted with things that you are emotional about. It doesn't mean it's bad. It could be happy. Okay, like I remember my 16th Christmas when I was 16 years old, and my mom bought me this new bike, and I got up and I went out, and I could still see it in my mind. And I walked out to the living room, and I saw it right there by the Christmas tree, standing right next to the Christmas tree, and it left an imprint in my subconscious. Why? Because I was like, yeah, I was like that, right? And it goes right into the subconscious. The same thing happens with trauma. Okay? So, Cynthia, good morning. Pretty doll, good morning. Good morning, ladies. Addie, good morning. James, good morning. Okay, so James, yeah. Jay, can you take care of James right there? He's lost. He's in the wrong chat. So, how does trauma, what happens with trauma? Trauma gets stored in your nervous system as well, in your parasympathetic nervous system. Trauma is just, and it goes into your subconscious as well, sometimes. Okay, but trauma is just an emotional event that was so bad that it sticks out farther than anything else. And you always refer to it because your memory, okay, is there. Your memory is fresh because it sticks out. And it sticks out because it was bad. And now you start relating things to it. That reminds me of that. That reminds me of that. That reminds me of that. So what does the vagus nerve activation do? Or stimulation. We can say activation or stimulation. Okay. The vagus nerve stimulation diminishes the amount. It starts to separate you from it. Okay, because it's stored in your nervous system. But your vagus nerve runs through your nervous system. It's part of your nervous system. Okay, when you activate the vagus nerve, it starts to separate that. It starts to, I'm just using this as a metaphor. It starts to separate you from it. Because you're not your body, you're not your name, you're that spirit that lives in here. You're a spirit in here. Okay, you use this body is, mine to use. One day this won't work anymore. I won't be able to hold my pen anymore. I'll be too old. And my body will just give up. And it will set me free. And I will leave. So there's a separation. I always talk about this, and this is probably not the live to do it. But there's a separation between the body and the spirit. Okay. Anxiety is fear of the future, and depression is hurt from the past. Not always, but you're close. You're close. Anxiety is not always the fear of the future. It is fear. It is a small little undercurrent of fear. So when you're angry, for example, I'm glad you brought that up. What is this? One nice gal? Guile? One nice guile? Okay. All right. So yeah, so anger, okay, anxiety is just a small little undercurrent of fear that's always there. Okay? It's always there. And then it gets triggered. Anger, on the other hand, is just a small little, okay, when you're angry and it's a small little undercurrent of anger, okay, we call that resentment. If you're resenting, and this is why you need to forgive. Okay, you need to forgive. Because when you forgive, it's like you're offloading it from yourself. It's like you're taking the burden off of yourself. Okay, when you forgive, it's for yourself, it's for you. Okay? Oh, girl. Okay, one nice girl. Okay, okay, I see. Thank you for correcting me. Chinita. Good morning, Chinita. Good morning, Ridgeway. Good morning. Okay. So now your brain, right? Okay. Your brain has this thing called the amygdala. Okay, it's a small little almond shaped gland on each side of your brain, right and left hemisphere, okay, underneath. And your amygdala is there to protect you. Your amygdala is your alarm system. So when you get a negative thought and you allow it more than 6 seconds of time, okay, let's say it's, how am I going to pay my phone bill? And you think about it. And then it lasts for more than 6 seconds. Okay? And let's say you're fearful of this. Right? Like, oh my God, it's a $400 phone bill. How am I going to do this? Right? And now you have a little fear. Then the amygdala starts giving you all the negative what ifs. What if they cut my phone off? What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? What if that? And all the what ifs are rooted in fear. The vagus nerve activation that we do through the human voice, okay, with straight, strong tones, separates these things. Why? Because when the amygdala starts doing this, what happens? You select one of those what ifs, and then you think about that for more than 6 seconds. And then there's another bunch of what ifs. And you start going into a negative spiral. This doesn't always happen, but it happens a lot. It happens a lot with people. How do you forgive genuinely? I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It starts in here. The kingdom is within. Okay, source is in here. God is in here. Okay, yeah. So your reasoning is your left brain. You need to cross over to the right. Okay, praying is good. Praying is very good. Okay, so you cannot reason with anxiety. Okay, you just have to get it out. So so the other thing about your praying, okay, is that you need to make sure that in your subconscious, what you believe to be true is in accordance with what you're praying for, or you're not going to receive it. Okay? So in the Bible, for example, when it says God knows your heart, okay, God knows what you believe. That's your heart. It's your subconscious they're talking about. Okay? In Job, for example, in the Bible, where Job says, what I fear befalls me. What it's really talking about is like attracts like. Okay? When you fear, and this is what I was talking about earlier, when you fear something, whatever the topic is, if you fear bad health, if you fear, I don't know, whatever you fear, okay? The topic is that of what you fear, okay? Whatever the topic is, whatever you're fearing, whatever that subject is, you're going to attract more of it. Why? It's not magic, because your subconscious, it goes into your subconscious as a belief, and then your subconscious starts looking for avenues to get you there. Oh, I'll go look for more of this that's making you afraid, I'll go look for more of this that's making you afraid. So what you fear befalls you, but that's the way it happens. Okay, it's not magic, it's not voodoo, it's not witchcraft, it's none of that. Okay, so think happy thoughts because thoughts become things. Okay, so your subconscious and conditioning, how does this work? Okay, the subconscious is shaped by repeating emotional experiences. So it gets imprinted by negativity or positivity, okay? But it's always emotional. Whatever you're excited about, okay? So here's another thing, right? When I give people, let's say people that are wanting money, for example, they want money. They have money blockages, which just means that they have beliefs in their subconscious that blocks money. Okay, I'm not good enough. Money doesn't grow on trees. Nobody in my family has money. Whatever. Money, evil people have money. Money's for evil people. Whatever. Some people glorify poverty. And the only reason they glorify poverty is because they're there. Okay? Poverty is not normal. You weren't placed here with this life, with this gift that you have, to be poor. You've been conditioned into poverty. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, poverty is the result of feeling poor. So how are you feeling? Okay? Now, if you're poor, it's very difficult to feel rich. Okay, or wealthy or whatever. But I can tell you that you can use energy. Okay? Use energy. It'll go into your subconscious faster. So maybe you cannot feel wealthy when you're poor. Okay? Or when you have maybe a minimum wage job and you want a promotion or whatever that will bring money. Okay? It has to be realistic. Okay? Like I said, this is not magic. This is your subconscious. But my clients always open the door to money and money always starts coming. And then sometimes they're not they go past the 12 weeks and then they're not my client anymore. And then months later, I hear from them. And I go, wow, how are you doing? Oh, no, not so good. This happened, that happened, that happened. And as a result of these circumstances that happened, which were negative, they start to go like this. They start to go like that. Okay? So I asked them, are you still doing your affirmations? So this is a lifestyle. Okay, here. This is a lifestyle. Okay, this is one that I've used already, but I keep it here to show people. Okay. So I know this looks crazy. This looks crazy, but this is subconscious conditioning. Okay, I started putting this. So this is a vision board. Okay, now vision boards can be anything that you have a target for. Okay, do I always have money on my vision board? No. I just put it on because it's a new year and it was slow coming into the year because there's a war. And I put the, I took a snapshot of those $100 bills, I don't know, about a year ago, I think, last year sometime. And I keep it. Okay, here, I'll show you a vision board. So one thing I do is I make vision boards for my clients because it's important. It's very important because it's subconscious. It's not witchcraft. It's not magic. It's none of that. Okay, so let me show you some of my other vision boards because I have a whole bunch. So I don't know what kind of phone you have, but if you have an iPhone, you can do this. Okay, so this is another one. These are all of my company's logos. Okay, 6 companies. That's the parent company. Okay, and then I have I have a couple other things there. This one on the bottom is a product company that we dissolved. We don't do products anymore. Okay, but anyway, but the point of it is that you can switch according to what your goals are. So let me show you another one just real quick. Okay, so when I'm focused on going to the gym and being faithful about the gym, I put a picture of myself when I was going to the gym regularly when, this was like taken a few months before the pandemic. Okay, like that. Okay. And I didn't have a beard either. But you can do this, okay? Now you need to do this as a lifestyle, because when you do it as a lifestyle, when you condition your subconscious as a lifestyle, okay, meaning you're gonna live this way now, because now you know the secret. I mean, it's really not a secret, it's just subconscious, okay? But there's the Secret documentary by Rhonda Byrne, and I recommend everybody, I recommend everybody watch it. It's very helpful because there's a lot of solid science to it. It's not just woo-woo. It's not just talk. Okay, but when you practice these things, you'll never run out of money. People have been watching me over the years, like from 2007, right? They've seen all my brand new cars and stuff. I make folders on my Facebook account and I put all the pictures in there because I want to inspire people. It's not to flex. I mean, you know, if people get offended because I have another lease, I mean, it's just a lease. I don't own the cars. I haven't owned the last 3 cars. I think I bought about 4 of them before I did leases, and then I did leases. But since 2007 till now, I can tell you that I've only had new car smell. Okay, and that's not a flex. What it is I overcame limited thinking. See, I'll go into this really briefly, okay? Because I want you guys to get this. I want you guys to learn this. Anybody can do this. This is not just me, okay? When I was a kid, I was told, oh, when you drive the car off the lot, right? When you drive a car off the lot, you lose all that money. You lose tons of money. Never buy a brand new car. That's what I was taught when I was a little kid. Maybe from 3rd grade, 4th grade. I kept hearing that my whole life. What did that make me do? That made me fear dealerships. Think, oh, if I walk in that dealership, they're gonna charge me. Like, they're gonna charge me all that money, then I'm gonna lose all that money once I drive off the lot. So it becomes a fear. It becomes a subconscious fear. So one day I was driving underneath this place in Hawaii. It's a viaduct, it's a freeway. And I was driving down and there's all these car dealerships on the side of the road. And I was so tired of repairing my car over and over and over. And I just did a transmission overhaul, which cost me like $1,700, something like that back in the day. It's way more now, right? This was like pre-2007. This was like 2006. And I was so tired, right? I was motivated by Rhonda Byrne's video, documentary. And so I decided to just go into the dealership. And then I tuned into my divine guidance, my intuition. Every question the guy in the dealership asked me, I checked in. So I believe in God. So I checked in with God. I said, is this right, Father God? And then I got the feeling, yeah. And then I said, yes. And we kind of proceeded like that. The result was I drove off the lot with $57,000 without a down payment, $57,000 in, by just listening to him, I literally felt my brain hurt because my subconscious is releasing tensions. Oh, yeah, you too? Don't worry, sweetheart, it's a real thing. You have to be open. You have to open. You have to be receptive, and then everything that's yours will come to you. Everything. And when I was signing, and I told everybody, I'm not ashamed to sit here and say that I was crying. When I was signing the papers, $57,000 on signature. I didn't know what my credit was. I don't pay attention to those things. I just work. That's all I do. I focus on my work. I'm not interested in all those things. And I was sitting there and I was signing the paper and tears were coming down my face. Was it because I didn't think I could do the $57,000 on signature? No, that wasn't it. It was the same reason that one nice girl said. Okay, it was the tension release from my subconscious going, dude, you're free. You don't have to believe that crap anymore. You don't have to believe that you don't have to belong to that fear anymore. And I got the fear out. That's why I was crying. And the lady was sitting there, very nice lady. I'll never forget her. She was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And I signed the paper. And you know what? I didn't cry for the second one, or the third one, or the fourth one, or the fifth one. I think I'm down, I don't know how many cars. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just ordered my 8th lease. Well, not my 8th lease, my 8th car. So 3 of them have, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them have been leases. So my 5th lease is coming. It'll be delivered in May. And now I order from the factory. I say, okay, I want it like this, I want that, I don't want that, I want this, whatever. It doesn't matter. Subconsciously, what matters is that you say, okay, well, this is my car payment. I'm going to spend this much. This is how much it costs to drive a car for a month. And once you memorize that, once you put that in your subconscious, guess what happens? Your subconscious will look for avenues to bring it to you. Is it magic? No. But you have this ability as a human being. Your reticular activating system in your brainstem will filter out what you're not focused on. It will bring in what you're focused on, or show you what you're focused on. So if you're focused on work, if you're focused on making money, if you're focused on your profession, if you're focused on whatever you do that makes money, your subconscious will go, oh, maybe you can do this. Maybe you can get some more clients. Maybe you can do some advertising to get more work. Maybe you can go look over here and offer this to whatever. Okay? It's not rocket science. Don't be fooled into thinking this is some mystical thing you got to pay somebody $5,000 to learn. Okay? That's not what I do. Okay? I don't do that. There's no course. I have a 12-week vocal expression vagus nerve stimulation program, if you want to call it that. I don't even call it that. Okay, I call it a healing through your voice. That's what I call it. Very simple, because that's what it does. I've been doing this for 37 years with 2 companies. My life coaching company is the second company that it worked for, because the first company was a singing school. We started out in 1989 as a singing school. And then when I noticed all these confidence level ups and stuff, like unusual confidence, I was making a mistake. There was one thing I was doing that wasn't taught to me, because my background is in classical music. I studied classical music. I had a tutor for classical music. She didn't teach me this. Somehow I don't know, I had that intuitive thought. And I did this exercise, the one I give everybody. And I did it, and people started getting ahead, so I did more of it. And then in 2007, when I did research, I go, oh, it's vagus nerve stimulation. It's your vagus nerve. Goes right through the throat, right through your throat chakra and into your heart, and then fans out all the way down to your gut. And how does this happen? Why does this happen? Because when you use your voice, okay, when you speak, when you hum, when you chant, all of those things, when you sing, okay, it starts to calm you. It starts to soothe you. But I was doing it kind of extreme, like, okay, we do straight tones, like I don't want to do it at blow everybody's ears out, but very strong, okay. And my clients do it, and in 12 weeks, 12 one-hour sessions, they don't. Sarah, I don't know if Sarah is here today. If hypnosis, you don't need hypnosis. You need to express yourself through your voice. It will change your world. It will open you up. Yeah. Repent, God is the answer. Yes, God is in here though, Nico. Okay? Get straight on what God is and who God is. God is in you. Okay? So you need to interpret what you're reading. Okay? So in other words, if you translate Leviticus 19:31, you have the answer. The kingdom is within. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. You need to study your esoteric knowledge of the Bible. Okay, don't romanticize the story. So anxiety, stress, okay, starts creating a negativity loop. You can have an anxiety negativity loop, okay, a negativity loop that causes anxiety, that keeps anxiety going. Stress, your work, right? If you have a stressful job. I coach professionals. So my professionals have high stress. I call them high performance professionals, but they just have a lot of responsibility, I'm talking about CEOs. 60 days to turn that. Yeah, you. So Janice did that in 60 days. Yeah, it's actually a 12-week program. It's 12 weeks, but yeah, Janice did it very quickly, and she got pulled out. She can tell you. Janice, why don't you share with one nice girl right there? Let her know. Yeah, in 12 weeks, it's gone. And you don't go back to how you were before. Why? Because you become aware of what caused it along the 12 weeks, right? Okay. With my coaching, I don't just do the exercise and then kick you out. Okay. We go over why this happened. And when you start thinking, like Janice did that with me. And Janice started thinking about why, because I asked Janice, I want to get to the bottom of it. When you become aware of what's stressing you out, when you become aware of what you're fearing, when you become aware of what's giving you the anxiety or the frustration, okay? Because all the negative emotions are rooted in fear. When you identify the fear, what's making you fear? For some people, it's income. For some people, it's losing their job. For some people, it's living with an abusive husband or wife or whatever, kids. Okay, whatever. But you have to identify what it is. When you know what it is, you can treat it. And I make no medical claims, so I'm not using treat as in that. I mean, you can address it. You can identify it. You can address it. And then are you going to be foolish enough to let it run your life again? No. I have a nurse that's been with me for 4 years. 4 years. She used to see me for 1 year. She saw me 4 times a week because she was in burnout. Nurses go through burnout. They work so hard. They do like double shifts and they go into burnout. And that's what happened to her. And I pulled her out. And she did four 1-hour sessions in 1 year. And now she sees me once a week. And every week it's the same 2 questions in the beginning. Number 1, how's your stress levels? Number 2, how's your triggers? And you know what the answer is right now? The answer is just normal work stress. Just normal. So I ask her, well, can you just shut it off? Is that what's going on? And she goes, yeah, I could just turn it off. Because you're conditioned to believe that you're responsible to take part of the job home. You know, I had this attorney. She told me she was responsible for answering texts at home from her boss, emails at home from her boss. You know what I got her to do? I got her to stop responding until the next day. To reclaim her time. Okay, so before I go, because this is very important for you, yeah. So Janice said, you do not have that fear. You did not know it's there. So most people don't know the fear is there. They just think this is the way life is. This is the way I'm doing it. They don't know the difference because they've been doing it for so long, okay? Your subconscious memorizes all of this. But anyway, let me illustrate this for you, okay? Because this will help you reclaim your personal time, okay? This is, let's say this is work time. This is personal time, okay? What happens to my professionals, anyway, I can tell you only my experience, and my experience is with the professionals that I deal with. Okay, they start taking their work home. So now you're not at the 50 percentile, now you're at 55% work. Okay, over here. Okay, this is personal. Okay, now they start going over here. So, oh, now it's 60% work. Okay, what's over here? 40% personal. How does this happen? Well, you know, in the case of my attorney, my attorney that I did this with recently, she said, well, I stopped going to the gym on lunch hour. I was catching up on my work. And then I took some of my work home to catch up. Okay, so that made the difference over here. That was the extra 10%. Now she's at 60% work, 40%. But she was single. Okay, so she didn't have a family. If you have to cook dinner for the kids, if you have to, help them with their homework, if you have to or maybe it's grandchildren. Okay, and if you have to spend quality time with them, now you're sacrificing this time. Now you're 10% over the line. Now you're taking 10% of that quality family time, and it's work time. Some people let this thing get so out of hand, they only have a couple of hours of rest at home after dinner, and then they have to sleep. Why? Because the next day they're back on the mouse wheel. So to reclaim your time, you start going back to the gym. You start doing things to counter it, and then you reset it at 50%. Somebody made a comment here. Let's see. And now you know how to fix yourself when you feel yourself go down that spiral. Yeah, you have to reclaim your time. Okay? Reclaim your time, guys. Okay? Because it's okay to go to the gym. It's okay to do your walk. It's okay to enjoy yourself. Don't feel guilty. People feel guilty. That's why they don't do it. They feel guilty. Oh, I should be working. That's my job. I'm obligated. I should be working. No, you should be doing your me time. You should be keeping your home time separate. Don't bring your work home. I know a lot of people do it to find favor with their boss, right? A lot of people do it to impress their boss. But you know what you're doing? You're creating damage to your family. You're creating damage to the people that love you. You're taking away time from them, and you're giving it to the corporation. And when you talk to these children, when they become adults, you know what because I deal with these kids. I deal with these kids when it's going on. Okay? And you know what they tell me? Oh, yeah, my dad, he's never there. Yeah, he's always working. And the way they talk about it, right? And you can see that it doesn't make them happy. And they're upset. Why? Well, because dad missed my promotion ceremony. Oh, dad missed my game. Dad was too busy to come to my football games. Oh, yeah, because he was working. That kind of thing. All the special moments in your life that you really should have been with your family. Okay, those things cause regret later in life. Okay, the shoulda, woulda, couldas. Okay, hi Faith, good morning. Hey Hannah. Hi Lioness, good morning. Good morning, you guys. Cherry List, good morning. Okay, all of this creates resentment later in life. Okay, and remember I said resentment is a small little undercurrent of anger. And who are you angry at? This one. You're angry with yourself. You're upset with yourself. I have an auntie that lives in regret. She's 90 years old. 90 years old. And she has regrets about her marriage. She always tells me. Every time I call her, talk to her, and we start getting in conversation, it comes up somewhere. It pops up. It pops up. And she starts telling me, she reiterates that to me. Okay, but I don't life coach her. She's my auntie. You see, I could help her, but I can't. But I listen, and I give her my time, and I empathize, and I sympathize. So don't let it happen to you, okay? If you're guilty of this, okay, and you're giving time to the corporation or to the boss or to the company or whatever, if you own your own business, you really can't help it. And you got to do what you got to do, right? And you got to put food on the table, okay? But I'm just saying, don't over oblige an entity over your family, okay? Don't take away from your family and then give to the corporation, because corporation doesn't have feelings. They don't care. Your boss will praise you. You know, your co-workers will, wow, dedicated. Oh, Bob's so dedicated. He brings his work home. He does work, doesn't mean anything. When you're lying on your deathbed one day and you get the coulda, woulda, shouldas, and you're looking at your kids and they're looking at you, you're going to feel it, okay? So do the right thing. All right, it's 8 o'clock, and thank you for joining us. Faith, thank you for joining us. Danielle, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so tomorrow, let's see, who was it, Jay, that were, thank you. I'm glad you appreciate my words. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Jay, who was it that was asking questions about anxiety and stuff? Yeah, I'm sorry, but anyway, we have a chat on this side. So whoever that was, get in touch with me, and I'll give you the solutions. And you can try the vocalization exercise. It'll nice girl, yeah, nice girl, yeah, one nice girl. Just message me, okay, and we'll take care of that problem. Amarachi, hello, good morning. Okay, so we're going to say goodbye to our Streamlabs family over here with all of these entities that we're on. So we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on Trovo in Europe, we're on. Anyway, but good, have a good